South Street. So text the word tattoo to 39333 and we'll get a winner before the morning is up. And a morning it is, a hot one at that. We're going up to 96, 97 degrees. It's going to feel like 105, and that's nothing compared to when you strap on that hog and hit the road out in the American West. Our leader here at MMR just got back from a trip while riding motorcycles throughout Utah and all those wonderful toasty areas of the West.
Beyond toasty.
Bill Weston is here with us this morning.
Oh, my. Can I set this up to say I took my wife on this trip. First time that she had been on a long motorcycle ride. Mm-hmm. I've done a couple of these before, and they've been just fantastic. But I wanted to share it with her, right? But Connie is, she doesn't do well sitting still.
Yeah.
I call her a shark, right?
Right.
Because when a shark stops swimming, it drowns,
It
right?
does, yeah.
So she's always moving around. So she's a very animated person. And she doesn't like the heat, right? She refuses.
Oh, this is a perfect thing for her.
Oh, my God.
So what compelled her to do this?
And she's a little skittish on the bike, you know. When we go to Westchester for lunch, she says, slow down, slow down.
And she hates Mormons, so Utah in the summer.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, my gosh. But I was so thrilled that she was kind of said, okay. Because this group of people, she's met at a couple parties up in Jersey where they reside, and she likes the group. So I coerced her into going.
Now, this is a case where you get the motorcycle transported to an area, and then you tour in that certain area. It's not like you left from here to Utah.
Right. You save 3 days of travel getting there, so you can actually do the ride. And we flew into Albuquerque and then did a loop over through Arizona, up to Utah, into Colorado, and back down to Albuquerque over 7-8 days.
So in any given situation this time of year, and that plan should have been phenomenal, because there's everyone who is loves touring on a motorcycle. You know, that's a perfect scenario. However, we're in the throes of what is a once in a 1,000-year dome of heat.
Heat dome.
Oh, my goodness. And
there are record temperatures all over the place. In fact, I'm sorry to interrupt, Casey, like Oregon, Salem, Oregon hit 117, Portland, 115. These are shattering records.
Yeah.
And places in Canada, 116 Fahrenheit.
I mean, you would normally find that in like Scottsdale, Arizona, in the height of the summer. Right. You're in like British Columbia, and it's that hot.
Yeah. I have driven all over southern Utah and like northern Arizona. I know how beautiful it can be. But I've also done that in the comfort of an air-conditioned car, you know, which is way different than what you experience. So, okay. Was your motorcycle air-conditioned?
Oh, yeah. Had the air conditioning button. We just turned that on. It was like nice and cool. All right. Well, and an engine, a Harley engine gets really hot. You got the pipes under your feet, so it only... Yeah. Some people in our group, there was 15 bikes. Some of the guys wore jackets, like Kevlar jackets and full-face helmets, right? Because that's how they ride, and they want to be safe. So...
What about you?
I wore a half helmet, you know, and a lot of sunscreen. I got a tan on 2 arms and my face. That's it. Because
there's no like ice vest that you can wear or anything along those lines.
Yeah, there are. But Connie wore a gator over her face.
She wore what?
A gator, you know, the thing. Dip it in water.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and you waterboard yourself. That's a good idea.
And it kind of cools you for like 12 minutes until it dries out. Because it's so damn hot.
Mm-hmm. So when did you have the first slap in the face of the excessive heat?
First 5 days was over 100 degrees every day.
Right when you got there.
Oh, my gosh. It was 108, I think, in Winslow, Arizona. Of course, we had to go to Winslow so we could take a picture.
Right.
And the picture took like an hour for everybody to want their individual things, standing on the corner, Winslow, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and it's so freaking hot. There's no shade.
No.
There's a drugstore on the corner, the other corner, that plays Take It Easy by the Eagles on a loop. Oh!
By the way, is there a statue at Glen Fry there?
There is.
Yeah,
there is.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's what I'd heard. Wow, man.
Anyway, so was he casting any shadow or shade? Was you hiding under Glenn Fry's nutsack to get out of the sun?
And then there's a big emblem of Route 66 in the middle of that intersection. So everybody wanted to do individual shots on the crest in the intersection, and then they wanted to do shots of their bike going.
Do you know these people? Or?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I just texted them. I said, I'm going on the Preston and Steve Show. So they're listening. They also, Igor, who is this Russian dude, there it is. Oh, my God. We spent an hour in 108 degrees.
So there's a picture of a large Arizona US 66 sign painted in the intersection there outside of the corner of Winslow, Arizona.
Oh, my gosh. So Igor was this, he's our leader. He plans everything. 5 years ago, I did my first trip of this sort, and you guys had me on. I did a phoner from Colorado.
Right.
And he did a really cool photo montage of that that's posted on Facebook. I'll share it because it kind of captures my first time doing this.
Yeah.
But the heat was an additional challenge. It was tough. So going into Moab, right, which Moab, Utah is very close to Arches and Canyonlands. Nick had warned me that our national parks, despite the heat, are overflowing with people.
Yeah.
So we tried to get into Arches at 7:30 one morning after we got up from our motel in Moab, turned away. Full.
No kidding.
At 7:30, we thought we'd beat it.
When a national park is, oh no, we're full.
Yeah.
I mean, it blows your mind.
I guess a lot of people, it's a 24-hour park. People go in early so they can get the sun coming up and shining through the
And on top of
And they
all of
made
it,
these plans ahead of time and didn't know the heat wave was going to be hitting. So
and there's a year of pent-up demand. I mean, you know, all of the parks out west are experiencing overcrowding at this point, but I'm still surprised at 7:30 in the morning you couldn't get in.
Did you eventually make it in or no?
We went to Canyonlands, which is another national park, unbelievably beautiful, which is maybe a half hour, 40 minutes away. Did that. Came back to Arches at the hottest point of the day.
That's smart.
Right, around 1 o'clock. It's like 105.
It's shade under the arch.
That's the only shade in that entire park, is if you can walk up to one of the arches, and there's it was pretty damn hot. A lot of people didn't even get off their bikes. They just went back into town.
So you're on these hot motorcycles, you're traveling. I mean, was there any point at which you got lightheaded? And B, how did you stay hydrated?
We just drank water all the time. Every time we stopped to pee or for lunch or whatever,
I can't believe you even had to stop to pee. It was so hot.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was.
all out.
The strangest thing is we left Moab, which was, again, 105 or whatever, and we went up to Colorado to Ouray.
Yeah, Ouray.
Yeah. Beautiful little mountain town.
The other side of Telluride. Yeah.
Next morning, we drove into Durango down the San Juan Skyway. Beautiful road. On the return, we ran into snow.
Snow?
It was like
Oh, my God.
67 degrees. There was snow on the side of the ground, and it was raining and sleeting. It was like 53 degrees or 47. I don't know.
That must have been refreshing, though.
It was a 50-degree shift from the day before.
Jesus
50-degree shift. It was beautiful because it was cool.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, believe it or not, Colorado has actually had a wet spring and a cool spring, and the rest of the West has been suffering about all of this. So Utah has 5 national parks in southern Utah. Did you get to any of the other ones besides Canyonlands and Arches?
Monument Valley.
Yeah.
Which is great.
We stayed in Monument Valley. And
gorgeous.
It was just beautiful with these huge monoliths coming out of the desert floor. And you think, how much erosion had to occur that it took everything down and left these few columns that were available. So, yeah, Monument Valley was the other one that we hit.
But that's a classic. The Howard Hawks and Westerns, you've seen it in
Stagecoach or whatever those
Forrest Gump.
So with your with your crew, your gang, you guys like wear collars or anything, or what's the story on that?
Yeah, how do you, there are motorcycle gangs out there.
Oh my God!
Who might make you take your colors off if you're passing through.
You guys
like-
the Wild Hogs?
We
or
are the
what?
Wild Hogs. Our last day, we're going through Santa Fe, right on our way back down to Albuquerque. And we go through Santa Fe into this little quaint art town, right?
Yeah.
There's like little shops
My uncle
and
lives
whatever.
there.
And I can't remember what the name of the little town was, and we're going to go there for lunch, right? So we're going putting through because there's a lot of traffic and people walking along the side looking at dream catchers and crap like that.
Right, yeah.
Dreamcatcher.
And there's this one bar or tavern in town, and on the front porch is like a half a dozen Mongols.
Right.
Yeah, right, which is kind of like the pagans here.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
nice people.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a big shooting out there a few years ago between the Mongols and the Hells Angels or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that.
We didn't stop for lunch. Right.
We kept
going.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Do you even wave to people like that?
Oh no, they
hate you guys.
Yeah, they don't. They're the tough dudes with the colors and the vests, and they're looking to prove themselves because these are young guys, like
Yeah.
new recruits.
dumb.
Yeah. So we said, you know what? We'll just keep going down.
I'm going to beat up a program director.
Wait, so did Connie enjoy herself?
She did. She was
good
a
question.
trooper.
Well,
Oh,
she
my gosh.
said she pledged the Mongols, and she said,
She was like, I'm out of here.
yeah,
That's what we said. Connie probably left you halfway through.
she's on the back of some guy's motorcycle now.
She was great. There was only one time we were going into Pagosa Springs, and there's a place called Wolf Creek Pass. It's like 10 miles long, and it's got a 7%
Degree
grade on it.
down,
I mean,
yeah.
it feels like you're going down a roller coaster. It's so steep. But it's a 4-lane highway, so that the turns are nice and sweeping and get some nice speed going on, and you're leaning in pretty tight. And that's when she starts squeezing me with her legs like I'm a horse, right? Like, slow down. She says, I'm at my last nerve. She yelled at me.
I took Rochelle and I went on a snowmobile excursion in Whistler, Canada, and so I'm driving, she's riding it back, and every now and then I would feel whap on my helmet. She would smack it. Slow down. I'm just keeping up with the people in front of me.
Yeah,
here,
you don't want to like lose them, right? You gotta,
Bill, what's the bike you're driving?
I rented a Ultra Classic.
Okay,
which
because
is,
in this picture, is that what you're driving?
yeah, that's I rented it from.
Doesn't
Eagle
look as
Rider.
cool as your bike at all.
No, I love my Deluxe, but it does not have a robust suspension.
Okay.
Or the back seat, which was, I'm trying to make sure that Connie was okay with it, has a little bit of an armrest, a higher backrest, and more of a cushion.
Did she like your shirt that said, if you can read this, the bitch fell off?
They sell shirts in Harley shops that says, I'm the bitch.
I'm the bitch. So you like that better. That's good.
A few years ago, I drove across the country, and I've told this story before in the air, but the guy that I drove with, he bought this book of where the old Route 66 was. And so you can pick it up really at any point west of the Mississippi and drive where Route 66 used to be. And it looks like you hit a lot of the points. It's a really great way to see America, because if you're on the highway, I mean, they sort of touch on it in the movie Cars. If you're on the highway, you miss so many towns, you miss so many little small parts of the country. But the way that you did it is a cool way to see this country.
Igor has a program that I think has every twisty, turny road in the country. It's amazing. It's so fun to ride. Igor.
I would like you to come with me on my motorcycle excursion. First, we'll start with a little bit of grave robbing.
To Nick's point, we went on Route 66 through a dumpy little town called Holbrook, Arizona, and they have something there called the Wigwam Motel. I told my wife about this. We're staying in a wigwam? But there's the concrete wigwams that I guess was part of a roadside attraction. Yeah. And in front of like the 12 wigwams they have there, there's an old car. And they say that it was partly the people from Pixar went there prior to shooting or prior to production to be inspired. You can see all these old cars that are parked in front of
cool.
these wigwams.
Was this used in the recent Vacation movie?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think there's only a couple of them left in America, but it was there's nothing else in Holbrook besides the Wigwam Motel. So,
it's interesting you talked about the twisty, windy road. So one of my idols is Neil Peart from Rush, and he was a touring motorcyclist. That was his hobby. That's what he would do. In fact, when they would go on tour, after the show, he'd get on his bike and he'd go to the next town. They would take the bus or the plane or whatever, and he would take a bike. So I've read several of his books that are all travel logs. And yes, the main thing for him was planning out a route that had twisty, windy roads that would just meander here and there.
That's the way to do it.
This way to connect this one to that one to this one to these to end up at my destination, and to make an excursion out of, not just get the miles under your wheels, but to see things and to experience just all kinds of different stuff, different kinds of Americana along the way.
Because that's the deal. If you stay on the main roads, you're going to miss, as Nick was saying, you'll miss the bulk of what you really want to see. So it does behoove you to get off those main thoroughfares and do the side roads.
There is
especially when it's 110.
There's a road out of Moab. It's 128, and it goes up north to an interstate to get over to Colorado. But that road just follows this river as these huge bluffs or cliffs off to the sides of you, and you're just kind of weaving in. You get into a motion and a rhythm. It's quite liberating.
Did anybody's bike kick out because of the heat?
My God! Oh my God! Oh my God! I forgot. We're going into I don't know, one city, and it might be the second or the third day. And we're all in a line. There's 15 bikes, right? And you're in your staggered motion, and all of a sudden, Bill
Justin, our program director, just dropped a huge S-bomb.
With
Wow.
passion and conviction.
Guys, don't worry. Bill's on the button.
I don't think Chuck's here yet.
I hit it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, no. It was so...
No remorse?
You're just moving on with your story.
It was such a traumatic experience
That you had to curse on air.
because you're in the middle of nowhere, and you thought, like, what happens if my bike conks out, breaks down, because you're 2 days away from the place that you rented it, or to get there's AAA. When are they going to come out?
Make you boy. Yeah.
A bike mechanic?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going down this road, and my bike stops working. I'm looking, the lights are on, and it's like, I pull over to the side of the road. All other 14 bikes, they pull off to the side of the road, and it's like, a couple of the guys come up to the bike. What's going on? I said, I don't know. It just stopped. It just stopped working and kicked out. And one of the guys leans over and goes, check this kill switch. And I'm like, what?
Oh, no.
On a motorcycle, the throttle is on the right hand of the handlebar.
Yeah.
And right next to that is a switch.
Yeah.
That is called a kill switch, and it turns off your engine. And somehow, when I was shifting off the throttle, pulling in the clutch, I must have hit the kill switch.
That's funny.
So you're the gang leader, obviously.
Yeah, right?
Peter Fonda. I can't get this thing started.
Oh, it was so embarrassing. Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. Well, nothing. You won't lose your cred quicker than that.
But the heat didn't beat you up too bad.
You were tired at the end of the day, but you know what? It's like they call it a dry heat.
Yeah.
108's a dry heat.
Still hot as balls.
Now, besides the wigwam place, the teepee joint, did you stay at nicer places for Connie? Maybe
There was
nicer hotels.
5-star teepee.
In Monument Valley, we stayed at a place called The View, which is actually in the national park. It's run by the Navajos or something.
Yeah.
It was you looked out your window, and there's Monument Valley with these huge. It was
amazing
and unbelievably quiet because it's away from all the roads or whatever. It was beautiful.
It's something that people should really explore. Even if you think it may not be your thing to get out and see that, it will. It's well worth it.
Yeah,
you know?
But it was hot, but you just dealt with it and enjoyed the other things about it.
Is this the hotel?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was actually used in a movie called Quantum of Solace.
Oh, really?
James Bond movie. This has got to be the same place. It has to be. Yeah.
What are we looking at? I'm sorry.
The hotel at the top, Preston, is where. So that's the better place.
Wow.
So
That's gorgeous.
if you check, I believe that was used in Quantum of Solace, the James Bond movie.
Yeah, it was on Monument Valley. It was great. It was terrific.
Well, you lived. Connie's not divorcing you.
She wants me to get a bigger bike.
These are beautiful things. Excellent.
Did she ride it all? Was she ever in charge? Was she the captain? No, just you the whole time? Okay.
Yeah. It was great. Thanks.
By the way, this text said that was C- radio. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Take it from me.
I enjoyed it.
Somebody else.
I give it an A.
Sorry about that.
All right, thank you, Bill West and Man About Town. Back from his trip out west in searing heat, man. I mean, they're experiencing unbelievable temperatures right now. Record-breaking temperatures, this heat dome. We're getting just a little taste of the hot stuff. 97 degrees is going to feel like 105. So just heads up on that. That's